Welcome back, everyone. Today we have a completely fantastic explainer lined up for you. We're going to break down a wildly entertaining story about a broke guy who inherits what looks like absolute junk, but it actually turns out to be a magical wealth-doubling sink. It's this classic, super satisfying zero-to-hero tale that is just packed with exponential math, massive face-slapping moments, and some truly incredible karma. Okay, let's dive right into it.
So, imagine this. What if a broken sink could exponentially double your net worth in literal seconds? Our story kicks off with a massive secret. Right before he died, our protagonist's grandfather revealed that a staggering 1 lakh million was hidden somewhere inside the house. But tragically, he passed away before he could tell anyone exactly where the money was kept. Hearing this, our guy's mind was completely blown. He started searching the entire house upside down. He checked every single corner, every cupboard, every box. But even after doing all of that, he only found an old, bent and broken sink. At that moment, he truly felt his grandpa had fooled him. He thought maybe the old man was just joking around, but as we're about to see, this sink was something else entirely.
Section 1. The magical doubling sink. From water bottles to millions. So suddenly, he feels something strange. He notices that the 5 mineral water bottles he had accidentally left inside that old sink had somehow become 10. At first, he literally couldn't believe his eyes. He figured he was just tired or seeing things. So he immediately takes out 10 bottles and puts one of them back into the sink just to test it. Within a few seconds, he clearly sees with his own eyes that the one bottle slowly turns into 2. His mind goes into complete shock. What on earth is this sink? It's not normal. It's a magical gold-giving pot. Whatever you put inside it immediately doubles. Put in 10 things, they become 20. Put in 20, they become 40. He immediately starts calculating. A bottle of mineral water costs 10 cents. If he keeps doubling it, he could get rich very quickly. Thinking this, his heart starts beating so fast with excitement. Without wasting any time, he repeatedly drops mineral water bottles into the sink, one after another, then more and more. It just wouldn't stop. At the same time, he's filling all those bottles into a snakeskin sack. And doing all this was so much fun, it was exactly like playing a video game. Every time the number doubled, his excitement just went through the roof. After about an hour of this, he had so many bottles he loaded them onto his tricycle. The weight was massive, feeling like well over 100 kilos. He directly pedaled to the recycling center. The old man there, who weighed scrap every day, looked at him and said, "Hey son, you brought a lot of stuff today." Our protagonist quickly replies, "Grandpa, weigh it quickly, I want to see how much it is." The old man slowly starts weighing it all, which actually takes more than an hour. Finally, he calculates it all and says the total comes to 5,000 yuan. Hearing this, his face completely lights up with joy. He immediately takes the money and runs straight home. Once there, he's happily counting those 5,000 yuan over and over again. And every time he counted, he felt even happier. But right then, while he's thinking about how much money he could make if he used this sink correctly, another huge idea hits him. Why double cheap water bottles when he can just put the cash inside?
He takes that 5,000 yuan and tosses it right into the sink. And you just have to watch the sheer power of exponential growth unfold here. At 0 seconds, it's 5,000 yuan. Within just a few seconds, the sink doubles it to 10,000, then 20,000, 40,000, all the way up to 80,000 yuan. Moments later, it hits 320,000, and it just keeps multiplying until an absolute mountain of cash is sitting in his living room, totaling a staggering 1.28 million yuan. In mere minutes, he firmly believes his poverty is completely cured.
But there is a problem, a really, really massive one. Here is the catch. All of those duplicate notes share the exact same serial number. Yeah, that huge mountain of 1.28 million yuan is entirely useless in the real world. You can't spend it, you can't deposit it. It is essentially counterfeit money. So our newly minted millionaire is suddenly right back to square one, panicking on his sofa.
And the timing couldn't possibly be worse. Enter Black Tiger. He threatens, "Return 2 lakhs today or you won't leave here alive." Now, Black Tiger is a dangerous local loan shark. Our protagonist had foolishly borrowed money from him a year ago just to buy an iPhone to impress a girl. Black Tiger literally kicks the door down, slaps our hero, and demands his money. But then, Black Tiger spots that mountain of 1.28 million yuan sitting right there on the sofa. Quick on his feet, our protagonist lies, claiming his dad just sold the house and offers Black Tiger the entire pile of cash to clear the debt. Blinded by total greed, Black Tiger snatches up the completely useless duplicate serial number cash and leaves. So problem solved? Well, temporarily at least.
Moving on to Section 2. The Gold Bar Bet, setting the stage for revenge. Okay, so our protagonist makes a really brilliant pivot here. Since cash won't work, he realizes he needs something intrinsically valuable to duplicate. He heads straight to a high-end jewelry store to buy a real gold bar. Right away, his old classmate So Ying, who works there as a clerk, starts mocking him, telling him a beggar doesn't belong in a place like that. But contrast that with Boss Yang, the owner of the store. When our protagonist casually drops his remaining real, legitimate cash for a piece of 999 pure gold, Boss Yang actually treats him with respect. He recognizes a potential client and even hands him a diamond VIP card, much to So Ying's absolute disgust. Then our protagonist casually drops that he has dozens of kilos of pure gold to sell. Well, So Ying completely loses it. She mocks him relentlessly and makes a fatal mistake. She arrogantly declares, "If you had tens of kilos of gold, I would kneel down and cut diamonds for you." She is so incredibly confident that he's just a poor loser, she formally bets him right there in front of her boss. If he brings the gold tomorrow, she will record a video on her knees apologizing. Big mistake.
Which brings us to Section 3, the golden climax, 50 kilos of pure face slapping. Let's see what happens the very next day.
Our guy goes home, tosses his one real gold bar into the sink, lets it duplicate all night, and returns the next morning with a very heavy suitcase. The narrative tension here is just fantastic. So Ying and her coworkers are ruthlessly mocking him the second he walks through the doors. Boss Yang arrives with a professional appraisal master, Mr. Lee, ready to do business. But our protagonist plays it totally cool. He places his battered suitcase on the counter and stalls, pretending he forgot the password. The clerks are practically dying of laughter, convinced he's finally been exposed as a massive fraud.
And then he suddenly remembers the code. The safe clicks open, and he casually reveals 50. Yes, 50 kilograms of 999 pure gold. The entire room goes dead silent. The appraisal master steps up, checks it, and confirms the purity. Our protagonist wasn't bluffing for a second. He is sitting on an absolute mountain of precious metal.
Boss Yang immediately has it weighed and processed. And guys, here is the magic number. 11 million yuan. Over 11 million yuan is wired instantly into our protagonist's bank account. He has officially transitioned from a broke guy on a rundown house to a multimillionaire in less than 48 hours. Crazy, right?
Which brings us to the ultimate payoff. Think back to So Ying's earlier arrogance when she was calling him a clown and a beggar. Well, Boss Yang is a serious businessman who will absolutely not tolerate insults directed at an 11 million yuan client. He forces So Ying to honor her bet. To save her job, the arrogant clerk is forced to literally kneel in the center of the store to process his new VIP membership card, publicly apologizing the whole time. It is textbook, highly satisfying face slapping. And just to add a perfect little cherry on top of this newly wealthy life, we get a quick update on our loan shark friend. Karma hits him hard. Black Tiger gets arrested, presumably for trying to spend that massive pile of identical serial number cash. The court actually seizes his assets and awards our protagonist 3 lakhs in victim restitution. So not only is his original debt gone, but our hero actually makes clean, legal money off the guy who kicked his door down.
Section 4. The VIP Car Showdown. A 15.5 million yuan statement. Because really, what is a newly minted millionaire going to do next? Buy a hypercar, obviously.
Our protagonist rolls up to a luxury 4S dealership, riding a bicycle, and the classic setup happens all over again. Salesman Feng takes one look at our hero's ragged clothes and completely ignores him to suck up to a client with a mere 3 lakhs to spend. Meanwhile, a junior saleswoman named Suna actually treats him with basic human respect. Our protagonist looks at Suna and says he wants the absolute most expensive car in the store. Without batting an eye, she escorts him straight to the ultimate supreme VIP area, right up to a flagship Loon sports car.
Well, salesman Feng finishes with his 3-lot client and wanders over to the VIP area. He is absolutely appalled to see the quote-unquote beggar looking at the flagship car. Feng mocks him ruthlessly, saying, "Okay, you will inherit my poverty. What can he afford? Don't make a fool of yourself." Feng is incredibly smug, totally convinced this kid couldn't even afford a tire, let alone the entire vehicle.
Without saying a word, our protagonist simply hands his phone to Suna, gives her his password, and tells her to run it straight through Alipay. Everyone in the showroom thinks he's insane. That is, until the small speaker on the dealership's cash register loudly announces to the entire room, Alipay received 15,546,231 yuan. The transaction completes instantly.
Over 15.5 million yuan dropped in a single effortless swipe. The fallout from this is immediate and absolutely hilarious. Salesman Feng suddenly realizes he just missed out on the commission of a lifetime. He does a complete 180 and shamelessly tries to steal the sale back from Suna, claiming that he's your superior, so it's his deal. But our protagonist isn't having any of it. He calls the manager over and gives one single demand: fire Salesman Feng immediately or lose my business forever.
Now this puts the manager in a really funny bind. He's a bit corrupt. He actually just had dinner with Feng yesterday, and Feng even bought the manager's wife a designer bag. The manager really wants to save his buddy's job. But he just saw the receipt. And to make matters worse, Suna whispers to him that the protagonist still has over 10 million yuan left in his account balance even after buying the hypercar. That level of wealth is simply too intimidating to mess with. So, the manager tries to play a little trick. He whispers to Feng that he'll fire him for the show right now just to appease the rich kid, and he'll secretly rehire him later. But our protagonist has completely evolved. He is no longer that naive kid from the start of the story. He looks the manager dead in the eye and warns him, "I promise I won't blame you, but don't try to trick me. If I find out, it will cost you dearly." And with that, he walks away with his 15.5 million yuan supercar, leaving the entire dealership staff trembling.
It is such an incredibly fun, fast-paced story of extreme wealth scaling and instant karma. And that wraps up our explainer of this fantastic zero-to-hero journey. But before we go today, I really want to leave you with a thought. If you were searching your house today and found that magical doubling sink, what is the very first thing you would drop inside? Think carefully about it and remember to check those serial numbers. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and I will see you next time.